Lewis Hamilton was absolutely honest after his unlikely victory in Baku. He knew he had inherited a win that with 3 laps to go was looking like a third place and a further deficit to Sebastian Vettel in the World Championship. He came out of it on top and rightly did not opt to celebrate as he might have were it a harder-won victory. He is 4 points ahead of Vettel but made it clear that relying on good fortune would not be enough in what is shaping up to be a highly contested season. The reality, Hamilton knows, is that with the exception of Melbourne, Mercedes have been unable to match Ferrari. The issue of unlocking performance from the car by working the tires at the correct temperature is key, and as things stand, Ferrari do not face the same problem. How Mercedes fare at the next round in Barcelona, in a European climate similar to that we are likely to see at many summer meetings, will be telling. If they struggle at the Circuit de Catalunya, it may be that far from last year's diva, this year they have created a monster. Red Bull's dilemma. The stewards found both Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen at fault for the accident that caused the crucial safety car in Azerbaijan. The Red Bull team principal, Christian Horner, in public at least, said he held both drivers responsible and that both would be required to go to the factory in Milton Keynes and apologize to the workforce. Red Bull's motorsport advisor Helmut Marko also blamed them both. "We let the drivers race, and then they are doing that. Unbelievable. Both were wrong," he said. Verstappen's ill-advised moves against Hamilton and Vettel already this season have put him under more scrutiny than most, but it is hard to ignore that moving as he did in Baku is always increasing the likelihood of contact. Red Bull do let their drivers race, and until that moment it had been hugely entertaining. They insist they will continue to do so. It has proved costly but absolutely gripping for the sport. Let's hope they stick to it. Leclerc delivers. Azerbaijan is becoming a race of some import for the Monegasque rookie Charles Leclerc. Last year in Baku, on his way to the F2 title, he won here just 3 days after the death of his father. An emotional weekend in which he wanted to deliver in his father's honor. He repeated the feat this weekend. 6th place in the Sauber was a magnificent drive, an absolute confirmation of the exceptional promise he has previously displayed. The 20-year-old's opening race weekends have been patchy at best as he comes to terms with an F1 car and his team do the same with a design that is completely new, conceptually brave and still in the process of being understood. However, on Sunday Leclerc looked absolutely in the groove, controlled, fluent and unafraid to attack. He described his first F1 points scoring result as feeling like a win, and with a few more performances like this, Ferrari may consider promoting him to the Scuderia sooner rather than later. Vettel too hot. Vettel was insistent that he had to try. His attempt to pass Bottas on the restart, and from a psychological perspective, it is likely a claim as much to reassure himself as anyone else. But the move, which ultimately cost him an almost certain 2nd place and potentially a win, could have been given greater consideration. There were 3 laps to go at that point, time still to close on Bottas and plan the overtake. Moreover, out of the pressure cooker of the restart he would likely have been able to take a calmer approach to it. Certainly Hamilton was harrying him on the restart, but he could have gone defensive. Instead he committed to the attempt, did so clumsily and failed to pull it off. There were shades of the costly start in Singapore here, the bigger picture lost in a moment. Last season those moments were ultimately crucial in the championship, he cannot afford to repeat them. Perez makes history. Sergio Perez's 3rd place was the culmination of a quite superb race. He had been hit by the Williams of Sergei Sirotkin on lap 1, which pushed him into Kimi Raikkonen, breaking his front wing and requiring an immediate pit stop. He then took a 5-second penalty at his 2nd stop for a safety car line infringement. Yet he came back with remarkable resolve, finally finding himself behind Vettel when the German flat-spotted his tire on the final restart. Perez spotted his chance and went for it, taking 4th. But he then had to hold the place, a huge task as Vettel came back at him. He did so brilliantly. "I had to give it everything in the last 2 laps," he said. "My pace was unbelievable and I think they were the best 2 laps of my life." His 8th podium is a new Mexican record, one more than Pedro Rodriguez scored with 2nd place at the 1971 Dutch GP.